It draws on cryptography and advancement in computing power. And involvement in the internet. These are the three characteristics of the blockchain technology. These are the three core values of the blockchain technology. It draws on cryptography. The information in all cryptocurrencies is encrypted. I think there is no better explanation to explain these things benchmarking on today's banking system. Today's banking system is built in a way that the information in there is not encrypted, and they always have to incur an enormous cost of auditing, tracking, processing, and reconciling all this ever-increasing transactional information. And then later, at the end of it all, they still have to find out or figure out why it is all saying the same thing at the same time. Remember, this information is used in different places because there are different banks, in different locations because these banks are not located in the same premises, by different users and in different locations throughout the entire world. So, trying to explain this draws on cryptography. You have seen that today's banking system has been subject to repeated breach. So many banks have been hacked. Last year you had the news that the KCB Bank was hacked by some Kenyans, right? And this is due to the fact that they are using quite a very outdated technology. They're using quite very outdated technology, quite very outdated in that we have technology evolving very fast and people are getting more brilliant, yet they are using the same system that they used to use in the 1960s and the 1970s. Yeah? So this all has to change. So we are able to transfer value from one place to another with the blockchain technology. So just like the internet was lessly adopted in the early 1990s, because the internet started roughly in 1993, so many people didn't know about the internet, and many countries like Kenya fought the internet technology until they just had to adopt. It is the same way the blockchain has come. Blockchain is coming to revolutionize the world in how payments are done and how record keeping is done, how value is transferred. I can give you one example. Today, the banking system is trying to evolve or is trying to improve technology, evolving towards speed. In the earlier days, people used to send checks, or people used to give you checks, and this check would last about a week or even 2 weeks for your money to mature. And recently, checks just have to spend 2 days and money is in your account. So they are evolving towards speed. You get it? However, if you compare the transaction or the financial sector with the information sector, you find that the information sector is way much more advanced than the financial sector. Remember, they have to match because they move hand in hand. Because, for example, if someone right now is tweeting or texting or Facebooking about what I'm talking about, someone in Sydney or Nairobi or someone in Bulgaria will already have read about it by the time I sit down again. That is how fast information is. WhatsApp is instant. However, if you bought a stock on one of those iPhones, you'll find that you won't have that stock until at least next Friday. So there is a very big time lag between the information that is sent and completing transactions. Because these transactions usually lag, in many cases, days or not weeks. And the blockchain technology is here to solve this. There are still many good questions to be asked and answered about this technology and as it matures, but we shall get there. This is how the financial system works. when you go and make a transaction in your bank, what happens is that your bank will record your transaction in a ledger. If you have deposited 10 million shillings, the ledger will show plus 10 million shillings at this branch and at this time deposited by you and everything. This is all the information that goes into their ledger. When you withdraw, they will show a minus. So literally it is a plus and minus in this ledger. There is no rocket science in this reconciliation of the books of accounts in any bank. Okay? So, and it will also be done in the same banks, in the other banks, because they have different customers. Now, these ledgers are centralized. They are only kept within one bank. You get? This is the meaning of the word centralized. They are only kept within one bank. And at the end of it all, one bank has to send it to the central bank so that the central bank can do its auditing and reconciliation. And it also has to deduct their fees of regulation. And also this bank also has to do the same. And remember, there will be a bankers association which will share the information of all banks and how they have performed. So information is centralized and it's kept until it moves to another level. And it's kept for some time until it moves to another level. Also kept this level, the central bank will also keep it for some time until it moves to a higher rank. And also that higher rank will keep it for some time until it moves back within the trade. You get that? This is how the present banking system is operating. It works on trusted third parties. Now, this takes a lot of time. Now, the blockchain technology is quite instant, and it does the same function. Auditing, tracking, recording, processing, ever-increasing amount of transactional information and reconciliation, all those functions are not going to go away with the blockchain technology. But the sheer power of this technology is that they are going to be done at digital speed and more accurate than what human beings are doing. So this is what the blockchain does, the blockchain technology does. Once you send me a unit of coin from your wallet to my wallet, let me say this is me, I am bank A, then I am sending to bank B. This transaction will be recorded, it will be recorded in my ledger. You get? The transaction will be recorded in my ledger. However, it won't stop there. This same transaction will be recorded in the other bank's ledger also. Then it won't stop there because these transactions are usually in sync in design, as in they are supposed to be uniform in design throughout the whole ledger. So when you have a wallet, whenever someone sends a coin, we all get that transactional information in our wallet. So I will receive, if I make a transaction to this bank will also receive that transactional information, and the central bank will receive the transactional information instantly, and insurance will also receive KCCA, Parliament, and everyone will receive the same information. And as also these people transact, the script is building. You get? The transactional information is still flowing. Whoever transacts, there is another block that is being built. This is why we call it the blockchain, or distributed ledger technology. You get? Every transaction creates a block. Do you get that? And then why they call it the distributed ledger technology is because everyone has a ledger and the ledgers are distributed throughout every user. Yeah? So now, there is no need for reconciliation because these ledgers have been already reconciled by the algorithm behind this technology. So these are always secret. The technology is very sensitive to that because there's some information that needs to be kept secret. So this is why the blockchain technology is important. It does all the work that is being done by today's global banking system within seconds. This is actually microseconds at digital speed. Get that? Yeah. And then the algorithm behind, or what keeps the mechanism behind these transactions is the algorithms that are behind every cryptocurrency. OneCoin has its own blockchain and algorithm, which ends at 120 billion. I hope you guys are aware of that. Bitcoin has its own algorithm that ends at 21 million. Zclassic has its own algorithms that also ends at 21 million because it was cloned from Bitcoin, and so on. So now the algorithm, I will explain the algorithm in this is how the algorithm works. The algorithm are just numbers. It's better to trust a number than trust a human being to make a financial institution, because anyone will print money because they have a need. You get that? So a number is a number. 1 plus 1 is 2. It cannot be 2.1. It cannot be 2.2. And no one is going to change a minus to mean a plus. You get? So they use algorithms, and this is why it is more secure than the present banking system. I'll pass you through the advantages of cryptocurrencies later. But now, to illustrate the algorithm, it took me about a year, but I hope I'll be able to deliver to you in just minutes. There is this game, there's this number puzzle that is usually in the newspaper article called Sudoku. I don't know if any of us tried to answer it. Are there any people that have tried it? Yes. And I want someone that knows it well. You do? Great. Which numbers have, which puzzle have you answered? The one that ends on number 9? Which ones? Yes, 333. But usually they count from number 1 to 9, isn't it? So what happens in these puzzles is that you cannot introduce a number 10 to act as a solution within there. Am I right? Yes. It is the same way you cannot add, you cannot get 21 million plus 1 in Bitcoin once the algorithm is done. The other mathematics thereafter is wrong. You get? It's the same way they cannot add more than 120 billion OneCoins. It's 120 billion, and that is the cap. You get? Yeah. So this number puzzle also works on algorithms. Then the other thing is that when you're answering this number puzzle, what happens is that when you fill in any wrong value in any box, that means all the other boxes will disagree. Do you get that? Yeah. They will disagree. So it's the same thing. If this is our network of ledgers, and this is me, and I send so much money to his account, for example, yet I have less money in my account. Remember, the books of reconciliations are being done by all parties throughout the entire world at the same time, same minute, same second. So all these other ledgers will disagree to this transaction, and it won't be possible. It won't be processed. You get that? So it's the same way with this number puzzle also. If you fill in any wrong value in any box, all the other boxes will disagree, and you will have to look for where you went wrong until you get the puzzle correct. Have we understood why algorithms are more strict and more trusted than human beings? Because they are numbers. So this is the power behind the blockchain. So, regulating, reporting, reconciling, tracking, and auditing huge amounts of data is not going to go away. But the question is that how do we get them to be performed at digital speed with much more efficiency? this is what we just explained. Which permits us to imagine a world that is cashless, because it is already working, and the questions that are left to be answered is that can a cryptocurrency or can an algorithm have a know your vendor or know your customer process so that it can meet regulatory obligations? This is the reason why I am not a marketeer, but I was very okay speaking about OneCoin in marketing OneCoin, because I realize it answers many questions of regulatory obligations. So many central banks have not yet started creating cryptocurrencies that have KYC or the KYB, the Know Your Vendor process. Because at the end of it all, according to the financial institutions, it all has to translate to taxes at the end. So if they do not know the person that is making the transaction, that means the government is not going to take their taxes, and government cannot control people that it doesn't tax from. There has to be some kind of regulations. So the most important advantages of cryptocurrencies over fiat currency, we already know the money cycle. You had a very good presentation from Stuart. He must have taken you through the revolution of money, right? So the most important advantages of these cryptocurrencies is that they have very low costs of transactions because they eliminate the middlemen. However, you shouldn't be so happy with this one because you don't know how much the government is going to tax cryptocurrencies in the future. For example, the government of South Korea decided to tax it 24.3%. This is way much more than our VAT. Okay. However, the cryptocurrencies that are decentralized have very low costs of transactions, and they are more secure. They are more secure than the present banking system. They are more secure than the present banking system for the reason I just described to all of you, because they work on algorithms. Do we agree? Yeah. And then the other reason is that they have no inflation. What causes inflation is when the central banks print more money, the money that we have in our pockets lose value immediately. Remember, if this algorithm ends on the number 9, you cannot create up a 9.1. I hope I illustrated that and everyone understood that. Yes. So there is no inflation in these cryptocurrencies. And in addition, if governments are followed up, or if regulators followed up in the instituted cryptocurrencies that have the Know Your Vendor process, where the OneCoin is soon going to bring the Know Your Vendor process because of the deal shakeup. Vendors also have to be known just like customers are known. So, they institute the Know Your Vendor process and the Know Your Vendor the Know Your Customer protocol. That means governments will be able to net their taxes 100%. Just imagine if payments were being made digital. If, for example, you used a border to come here, the government hasn't known whether you gave that border person money, whether you used his service. So he's not going to pay taxes. But if you use the border and you're to send this person money digitally, the government won't even need to hire a taxman to get its taxes. Before those digits get onto that person's number or wallet, what happens is that they will already have their taxes off. You get that? So they will be able to net taxes 100%. So, and the other reason is banking the unbanked. We all know that. It's not news that today more people are on mobile money than they are in banks, because digital is convenient. We agree? Yes. digital is convenient. Then cryptocurrencies appreciate in value. Myself, I've been a beneficiary of this appreciation in value so many times now, and it has made me the man I am today. And why they appreciate in value? Thank you. And why they appreciate in value is because of their limited algorithm. However, the demand is always increasing. I hope I could also be able to illustrate that within a few minutes for everyone to understand. I came up with this illustration. Just imagine this is the whole of Uganda. This is why land appreciates in value. And it is the same logic cryptocurrency is also used to appreciate in value. Yeah, price is just the behavior of people in the market, or even the number of people in the market. So, just imagine if this is the whole of Uganda, and Uganda is 21 square meters of land, or for example, one coin, let me use 120 square meters of land, okay? The whole of Uganda. So land was cheaper in 1993 when we were about 13 million people than it is today when we are over 47 million people demanding on this same piece of land, which will never increase in size. So supply is not increasing, but demand is increasing. So today, 3.5, according to the World Economic Forum, 3.2% of the world's population know about these cryptocurrencies. Yeah? I was there when 0.00001 people knew about these cryptocurrencies in the world. Wow. We got money because this 3.5% pushed price up. And everyone that invests money, by the end of this year, 7%, this is speculation of the World Economic Forum again, 7% of the world's population will be knowing about the cryptocurrency business. So what do you think is going to happen to these 3.5%? Value is going to be high, and we are going to be swimming in it. So this is what happens, and this is why cryptocurrencies appreciate in value. And myself, I don't care whether anyone believes me. My own parents didn't believe me. I made it and I'm making it. And I pray you guys do the same. Please just invest in the future. The blockchain technology is the future. We should take it as serious as we should have taken the internet technology in the early 1990s. It's a big deal. As I said, we won't get there overnight, but we will get there. Thank you.
Combined. Mr. Stewart told us the price of Bitcoin was something, last year December was something like, let's say 18,000, and today it's about 8,000, and it has been moving up and down. I've had people calling that volatility. How is volatility different from inflation? Malay person, I'm like, isn't that inflation? And then second question is, I'm very concerned about the OneCoin. What are the measures that are going to help us not go through that volatility that a Bitcoin is going through?
It is decentralized. It is governed by the behavior of people in the market. And like Stuart said, the people that have money and the political leaders. And this is why they put a law on cryptocurrency regulating political leaders in talking about cryptocurrency. Because what happened last year, Donald Trump would just make a tweet. Because we are in the same business with him. He would just make a tweet and the price of the Bitcoin would go high. You get? And makes a tweet for it to go down so that he can buy again. You get? This is what happens with Bitcoin. It is decentralized. And volatility is different from inflation. Inflation is the persistent increase in prices of goods and services. Yeah? Volatility is the rate at which the money market performs. But at the end of it all, this is always the curve of cryptocurrencies. It will go down to as much as the correction needs it to be. Like recently, the Bitcoin went up to 6,500. The brilliant ones we bought. I know, Stuart, you bought. And then now we are swimming in money because it's back at 10,000. So if you bought 50 or if you bought 100 Bitcoins, you have almost a profit of $800,000. You get? So the price is always like this. When you look at the Bitcoin in the start, it was 0.1. It went up, then it went down again. It went up and went down again. It went up and it went down again. So tell me, would you have lost money if you kept your Bitcoins for a good number of time? No. So what happens in this business is that it's like a tool of transferring money from the impatient hands to the patient ones. For as long as you be patient, it will still go up. I hope that answers your question. Yes. Then the second question about OneCoin was...
how do we, why won't OneCoin become as volatile as Bitcoin?
Now, OneCoin is a centralized cryptocurrency, and they are benchmarking it on centralized technology. This is why there are concepts like CoinSafe. People like me have a good millions of them, of OneCoins. So if I want to drive the market of OneCoin crazy, I can. But because there is this CoinSafe concept, I cannot, because my coins are CoinSafe. And the other thing, they will be limiting the transactions of the transactions that you can, the coins that you can be able to trade on the forex, on the CoinEx coin once it is up. You get? So somehow it is a bit regulated than Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. Remember, the technology is growing. I'm very sure if there is anybody, but there is no one here that is still holding the very first Nokia phones that we used to hold. So the technology began. It was very good and scary by that time. However, we are now further than that. So it's the same way. Bitcoin came, introduced the technology, they are making improvements on it. Yeah. KYC, KYB, and they are making improvements in a way that these cryptocurrencies can be able to take transactions in gigantic numbers. A grandmother in the village can use this mobile money technology because it's just *165 hash, and the USSD will run and give you another option to pick from. Okay. So it is simpler. And therefore, it is, and because it has also been pre-mined, it is easier. Then, because also it is governed by a central body, would you invest in something something where you don't know the owner? Would you? No. Well, me, I did. I invested in Bitcoin. It takes great energy to invest in something like that. But here we know the owner, we know the administration, and the white paper came out. I think it's advantageous to invest in OneCoin now, before October 8th. Secondly, you asked how much I've invested in cryptocurrency. Well, I have several portfolios. I have over 38 portfolios in different cryptocurrencies. Over 38. I've invested in OneCoin, I've invested in Bitcoin, I've invested in Z Classic, Ethereum, Stratis, Neo, Dash, name them. And they have given me quite a substantial amount of money, and I've reinvested. They've given me millions of dollars, and I've reinvested. So I have, so many of you want to know how many OneCoins I have a good millions. Yeah. More than 30 years. I invested 18 power packs. So if you can calculate at the rate of, if every power pack was giving about 7 million coins by then, you could estimate that I'm almost close to 100 million. But I'm not mentioning my other investments for cryptocurrency.
Some of us, or majority of us, may be getting this information for the first time. And someone may wonder, because we are hearing of these coins, OneCoin, I've heard of Ethereum, there is Bitcoin, I think there is something called Ripples or something. So one wonders, if, let's say from here, I have my 1 million shillings, and I want to start either trading or want to buy a Bitcoin or something. Do I go to the internet and log in Bitcoin and then I get, or do I have to go to a specific person to get? How best does someone begin investing or acquiring those coins or the different from?
He is going to give you the best knowledge on how to invest and trade in cryptocurrencies. Okay, equip yourself around with people that will give you this knowledge. I also do the same, but sometimes time is not on my side. You have to balance family and work, and I travel a lot. So I would advise get a person that is well informed. Do not get an amateur or someone that just traded yesterday and made a few shillings. Yeah? Invest in yourself. Myself, I had to pay some money to some guy from Ivory Coast to come to Uganda and teach me trading using candlesticks, bolingas, oscillators, so that I can know when the Bitcoin is going to go up, when the Bitcoin is going to go down, when it's favorable for me to place a bid, or when it's favorable for me to buy. It takes time. Invest in yourself. Go to a school. The educations are usually for a few days, right? Yeah, a few days. There is no other schools you're going to go for and they teach you Bitcoins. They are going to take you back to social studies. They will teach you English, you know, things that are not even going to help you so much in today's world. The world is evolving very fast. We need to evolve with it. So if there is a chance that you could go and get some education, just find it. I found mine, you find yours too.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the organizing committee, we'd like to thank you for your time.